All right, welcome back to BeerFormers. This is our 8th episode. We're so excited.
Yes, and we have over 100 subscribers now. Woo! Thank you, everybody who has made this happen.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but as of the time of this filming, we have 112 specifically.
Whoa,
so it's pretty cool.
Dude.
So thank you for liking what we do. For so far, our biggest video has been the one about the preschool Transformers, but you know we're still doing pretty well. We think we're more than pleased because we're just doing this for fun.
We are having such a good time.
Doing this for fun. So
yeah.
So on to the program here. So today, keeping with our theme of unusualness, okay, we're going to be talking about. Well, we've been doing a lot of Transformers, like, oh, they can't make this anymore.
Oh, that's true.
This came from this source. That came
I've learned a lot.
This is one of the initial, early on, big Transformers. In fact, in the cartoon for a long time, this was like the biggest Transformer for the longest time. And we're talking about the original G1 Omega Supreme.
Oh, man.
Okay? The last bastion, the guardian of the Autobots, the last line of defense. If the Decepticons are totally winning, they still have to go through him to totally win the day.
Except a piece of him fell off.
I'll pick that up in a second.
Okay.
All right.
Seems pretty fragile to me.
Well, Omega Supreme is one of the first great parts formers. We've talked about that term before. A parts former is a transformer that doesn't truly transform in the sense of you fold pieces around and make it happen.
You put pieces on?
Parts for in the community, a parts former is a transformer that has to come apart and be reassembled in some way to make it transform. Is that headcanon? That's not headcanon. Oh, okay, that's what we actually call it in the collector's community here. So, and it tends to be a bit of a derogatory term in the sense I think we would rather see toys where everything's built in and you have to just flip things around and make it happen.
That makes sense because that's part of the glamour of the. So
and when it comes off in animation, that kind of shows because usually a parts former is some that has like parts that just magically come in off screen somewhere and attach to them or things like that.
Right, now you're talking.
And Omega Supreme was great for that. Omega Supreme, if you don't know, we're going to get this to Noelle real fast as soon as you can.
And then
he becomes three things. He becomes a track, he becomes a tank, and he has a rocket that you can launch. Right. And so that was all part of his role as the defense base for the Autobots. Okay. So his function was to be the last line of defense. You know, if you, like I said before, they're attacking the Autobots' base.
So he's a good guy.
He's an Autobot. Yeah.
All right.
So in order to do that, he has to come apart. In the cartoon, he would do that. He would put his arms in the air, and the rocket parts would fly off, and the track parts would come in. And there was even times where he would transform. Dramatic. He would transform into the tank and the track and the rocket. Everybody would get aboard the rocket, and the rocket would take off. And when they got there, he could still transform somehow. So somehow he magically brought all the pieces with him.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
But somehow Palpatine returned. So a couple things that were cool about this toy was first off, it's motorized, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay.
Yeah.
It had the ability to walk as a robot, and it had the ability when you had it all set up, the tank could go around the track. Right.
What type of batteries does it
take? A couple AA batteries.
Okay.
The second thing was, and this ties into our theme, is this is yet another transformer that was not originally designed by Takara, the main partner with Hasbro.
So Hasbro went and found another company. Wow, this is crazy.
So they went to another company and licensed this character. Okay, the toy company, not Toy Hacks. Well, I forgot what it was. I'll look it up. It just left my brain right now. I'll put it on the screen. The original toy company designed both Omega Supreme, or the toy that would become Omega Supreme, and another toy which ended up being called Skylynx.
Okay, was it a Japanese company?
It's not a Japanese company.
So
all right.
They got all.
And Skylynx was another Autobot that was like a double thing. It was a space shuttle and a space shuttle carrier, and he transformed his robot form was like a bird dinosaur thing, whatever. Anyway,
a pterodactyl.
Yeah, kind of sort of. So when the irony of it is that this company that designed what would become Omega Supreme actually had the company Tomy do the actual design process for this. So they go, hey Tomy, would you make this toy for us? And Tomy's like, sure, whatever. And then they go around and license it to Hasbro, to sell it in the United States, right?
Crazy.
So then eventually later on, Takara and Tomy merge, and then they gave them the right to be able to remake this toy again. And I'll show you a remake of that here in a minute.
Cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and slide this over here real quick, because you're going to...
That's the one I'm going to transform?
No, this is the original one here.
Okay.
So he comes with all these extra parts
that
make up the track.
Come out?
He was in the second year of the Transformers, 85. Okay?
Really? He looks good.
He looks pretty good. Mine's missing some parts. On the back here, he's missing a couple of these little clips that hold his legs together. I've only got one out of the possible
not
four.
Not much of a parts former then, are you?
But what the Wells going to transform here is the more... I got this in 2012. I think it came out maybe that year or maybe the year before. But they did a reissue of Omega Supreme in the colors that matched something that happened in the cartoon. The Autobots go back in time and they realize that Omega Supreme is just like the head honcho of a bunch of other robots that look more like this called the Guardian robots.
Okay.
So they reissued Omega Supreme. This is after Takara and Tomy had merged, which allowed them to be able to put this out again, right? And the same mold, and the Guardian robot colors. So the Guardian robot colors was what Noelle's going to transform because it's a more recent toy. But I can show you the walking feature just briefly here. You can hear the noise it makes. You can see the feet basically wiggle just enough to let go forward very slowly. All right.
Where did you get this one, Dave?
I got this at a BotCon down in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, the one I didn't go to.
Yeah, the one I went with my oldest daughter there.
All right, cool.
So you'll need to transform that. You'll need these track parts here too. And because this is a parts former, I'm going to kind of transform this one with you.
Okay.
So the timer is going to be a little more irrelevant than usual, but you know we're just going to have it go.
Am I turning it into a tank and a track? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll kind of show how this works here. So again. Omega Supreme was like the biggest Autobot you could buy at the time. Now, a couple years later, like the following year, they came out with Metroplex, which was like the first city bot, and then the Decepticons finally had one in the form of Trypticon, and it kept going on from there, you know.
Do you have all of those?
I do have all those. And then, as I mentioned here, and we'll show this before we actually transform it, starting in the year 2014, they started putting out like a big Transformer again, like every year, right around
Christmas.
Right around Christmas time, isn't that fun?
Oh, what a coincidence!
And so a couple of years ago, I can't remember exactly how many years ago now, but it was within the last 5 or so. They put out the reissue of Omega Supreme in modern styling.
That's like a toddler.
Yeah, it's like his little buddy here or something like that.
How much does this weigh?
This one here, I don't know, like 5 to 6 pounds.
Holy cow. Yeah, that literally is like you're carrying a 1-year-old.
And this one is not so much a parts form, which is kind of cool. This one still transforms into the rocket and the tank and the thing like that. So it does have to come apart a little bit, but all the pieces are much more integrated, which is cool, you know. So this is the more recent, the most recent iteration of Omega Supreme.
Did I get that for you for Christmas?
You did get that for me for Christmas,
yes.
and thank you.
You're welcome.
So
You're a
really cool Autobot. In the cartoon, he talked like in, not broken English, but he's like economy of words. So he's not going to be like, yes, I'll go get it. He'll be like, mission acknowledged, you know. See, and they talk about why that is. He had a bad past.
Tell us
about his past. Something bad
Yes.
happened to him on Cybertron back in the days before the war.
What do you think it was?
It had something to do with the Constructicons betraying him, and so he felt bad about it. So he just kind of like, you know, I'm just going to be matter of fact and go on from there. So Omega Supremes are really cool toy.
I want to know more about this. This is insane.
Well, you have to watch the episode. I can't remember the name of the episode now, but it's on the original Generation 1 cartoon.
Why the Constructicons?
The second season. Well, we're going to get too much of the weeds here, but the Constructicons had two origins within the same cartoon. They were either built on Earth, according to one episode, or they existed in the past with Omega Supreme before the war began.
Okay, so we'll get into that in another episode.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, you know.
Okay, we'll do the Constructicons.
But he had a very unique way of speaking, and it was
back to what Dave was thinking.
And before we transform, one last thing.
Okay.
This character has been brought back several times over the years in different forms. His next iteration was an Action Master, oddly enough, again. And he was one of the rare ones that only came out in Europe, where it was actually an Action Master that could still sort of transform. He was called an Action Master Elite. We might do that figure someday.
Wow.
Then the name got used a couple other different ways, so like that before they finally started making him like that toy I just showed you, the big one. That's the most recent time where he really was basically a version of this, which is really cool. So let's get to transforming this real quick here. So there's lots of things that happen. So if you look in the back here, first thing you need to do is open up the backpack.
Okay.
And open that up, and you're gonna pull these two pieces out.
How do I open the backpack?
There's like a little tab you pull down.
I see the tab.
Then you gotta lift up on this at the same time.
I gotta lift and pull.
You gotta pull down and then lift up. Okay.
Got it.
And then take out the pieces of the track.
The pieces of the track come out.
And then you might as well go ahead and build the track in this.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So the track doesn't really matter how you build it, but these pieces are going to make almost look like semicircles when you're done.
But they lock into each other.
They do kind of fit on top, so like this. So like I've got these two here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to do that, and we'll set those aside. Okay.
Some of these have tabs on both sides.
Look at this. Those little things there. These little things here and here allow you to put it in the backpack in different ways.
Right.
So you could, if you wanted to, just put this piece in the backpack if you wanted to. And that would actually make him look more like he does in the cartoon. I usually put this piece in the backpack just because personal preference. So you're going to make two of them. Nope. See, look, there's two of them.
Oh, I'm just making it.
You're making two of them. There's going to be parts that go in the middle that actually bridge those together.
All right. Look what I did.
So you got it. Okay, so just set those off to the side.
All right. I'm just going to show everybody what I did.
Yep, she did it. Okay, back to the figure.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and just... So you're on his arms, there's a little button here. You press that to be able to take them off. At the little black button usually at the bottom.
Oh,
you got
I
right
see
there.
it.
Press that to slide those off.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
It's there on the inside. You got it.
Here, I'm gonna show everybody. Here's the button.
And then you just fit those two together. This makes the rocket. The rocket is now basically complete now.
Okay.
So there's
what just
rocket.
happened there?
So watch here. So once again.
I see what's going on. And that goes out like this.
Yeah, they only fit together two ways, and either one is correct. Okay, so it doesn't. Yeah. So there's the rocket. The rocket complete.
I did it.
Okay. So now we'll go ahead and make the. Well, no, we can't do the.
So it's step 2.
Yeah. So now these pieces in the back, which you have more of, you need to slide all these off. So you've got 4 of them to slide off, just like this. Watch here. There's a little piece there that slides off. Oops.
Just slides off, huh? Oh.
You're afraid of breaking it, and I appreciate that, and I love you.
Oh.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, now on the front.
There's these little pieces here.
I only have the one, so if you can help me complete my Omega Supreme, great, let me know. On the front, these 2 pieces also come off.
Okay.
Which are dark blue on yours. They just slide, they kind of pop up here and slide off.
Yeah.
I can't get mine off here now. That's what he should say.
Shoot.
Okay, now you're going to take off these pieces that form.
Yeah.
You're going to kind of expose his legs a little bit.
This just fell off.
Yeah, that's fine. They're going to come off.
But the other one isn't on.
The other one's just fit onto.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're going to expose his legs. He's going to be kind of like his legs are naked now, basically.
Oh, he's naked.
He's got naked legs.
All right. This is
what I mean
lot.
about being a parts former, right? Okay.
All right.
Now this part's a little more
the whole table
tricky.
for this one.
These 2 little things that fit above his actual feet, they
Yeah.
kind of come apart too, and you just kind of wiggle them apart.
Oh.
And they'll come off now.
I just got. Oh.
This is gonna be our longest
That's
video.
what I did, right?
No, you're taking off those.
Oh, crap,
Those will have to come off too.
All right.
In fact, go ahead and take them off. I think that actually makes it easier. Yeah, go ahead and take those
Feet
off.
come off.
And then pull these little, I don't know what you call these, like spats. old lingo talk there. Yeah, actually, you had to take the feet off to make that happen. So that was my bad for not getting
Okay.
So yeah, that leaves you with these 2 feet. And these pieces here that form like the spats for his legs, and then the actual leg guards.
So now we're down.
So
to
put the tank aside because we're gonna finish making the track
Holy
now.
cow! Oh,
And
my! These go in the track.
Yeah. All right, so these pieces here that form the legs.
Okay.
They're gonna. You see how those little tabs are to help them slide together. So you're gonna take the same pieces from the same parts of the leg. Look here. So
Like this.
So they originally went together like this to form the leg.
Oh no, that's not right. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Then they'll slide together. Boom.
I don't think that's right.
You got it. You're just being. I think you have the same part to the same leg.
Oh, I need opposite parts.
You need different part. Yeah, because then there'll be a tab and a slot.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That's what I was saying. That was not
your
working. Right.
So fit those together.
I did it.
Okay.
They're fitted
Go
together.
ahead and do both of them.
Oh, on each like okay. All right. Here we go.
All right, and the parts that made up the little parts that went around the feet, they're gonna tab in on either. There's 4 of them, so they'll only go one way too. So if you have one that won't fit, you basically done it wrong. So go ahead and do that part.
Like this?
Yeah, and it might snap together a little bit.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that!
Yeah.
All right, now I'm doing the other one.
So do that twice. So then you'll end up with a big piece that looks something like this. Yeah. So go ahead and do the other couple pieces there. And
I
then
got
move on.
We're good to go.
But no,
Oh, I gotta put those on
the other
too?
ends too. Yep. You can complete the whole shebang.
Shebangs.
All right.
All right.
And this completes the track now once we put these together on this. Like what I'm doing here now. So these will slide on to the other 2 pieces of the track that you built at the very beginning.
Okay. So. Okay.
See what I've just done here?
I do.
And the open part, this open
There's
part
so
here,
many
will face them.
pieces.
Yeah. This is like almost the best example of a parts former you can get. All right. Because, yeah.
So that goes there.
You can't transform without all these parts.
And then this goes here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And then you'll put the other thing on.
All right.
Yep. We won't have enough room on our table to show all this. We'll have to make a point just showing the one you did here in a second.
All right. Here we go. And then this is going to go on top of here. I see.
Yep, you're doing great.
Thank you. You're a good teacher.
I don't know if we'll do the timer on this one
Okay.
since it's not
I'm
really
going
a
to lift
test
it
of
up
your
so everybody
ability.
can see it.
Yeah, big track there.
No, this is more of a tutorial.
Yeah. Okay, so now we take the tank again.
Okay.
And you're going to lift up on the backpack and kind of wiggle that off.
The whole backpack?
The whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, just like that. Did anything fly off?
No.
Okay,
but...
so he did it. All right. So now let's go ahead and finish the track. So you're going to take the backpack piece here,
How would you know?
and the 2 feet. And there's these little tabs in the bottom of the backpack that's going to tab into the feet like this. So there's a little hole in the back of the foot there. There's a little tab on the underside there. It's going to tab just like this. Let me show you again. So there's the backpack's closed. There's a tab there and a tab there, and it's going to fit in these little slots on the feet, just like so. So when you're done, it'll look like this.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. You do the other one now.
How could anybody do this without an instruction manual? How did they design this? How did they
Ask
envision
Tommy.
this?
And this
is
fits
crazy.
And this fits kind of under here. You might have to lift up the parts to get under there a little bit, but it's gonna fit under
This goes
those
under
gaps.
here?
Those gaps like that. Now, these little pieces are supposed to go on, but they're not necessary.
That didn't work.
So for the purpose of brevity, we're gonna eliminate that part there. But these are supposed to go on like here to kind of provide like a little extra stability, yada yada. But we're going to pretend that that's not part of the instructions here for this one today. Okay, you got it now, okay? So then your rocket kind of goes in there to kind of like be the gantry that holds the rocket up.
All right.
Boom.
Boom.
All right. And the last part here is the tank.
All right. So these are just going to sit here.
No, those actually these little pieces go like on the underside to help hold these track pieces together.
Okay.
But you know, for the purposes of our video, we're just going to like because it'll just make it take longer. All right. We want to get this thing going here a little bit. So take your tank now. Okay. So your tank will look like this when you start off, right? So you want to slide the battery cover down.
All right, got it.
Okay. Then you're going to bend the tank head forward.
So this goes down.
That part will actually fold up by itself automatically when you just bend it forward.
Like this? Something ain't right. What did I do?
I turned it on.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Then you're going to fold the arms up.
All right.
Just slide them up. Yep. And then bend them over. Okay.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Now, on the tank tread, there's a little button there you have to kind of press. Look on the inside of it. Look what I'm doing. You're not looking where I'm doing. Right there. And then that'll allow you to fold that up. You had your thumb on it. Exactly right. And you're going to push it in. Yep. You got it. Right there.
What do you do? Okay.
And the same thing the other side.
All right.
You're like pressing it up, but your press button just press it in. See how it clicks a little bit? That allows you to slide it up.
Oh.
That was
got it. Okay. These still aren't going in all the way, so I'm
going to go ahead and move this one out of the frame here completely so we got more room for yours.
All right.
Let me see what you got here now. Just got one more click. You're basically
I always need one
and then he goes on the track, and then you press the on button. Now let's get this more in the frame so people can see it.
Oh, here we go. Can you see that?
I'll move the microphone over a little bit for a second.
All right, here we go.
And
right up so everybody can see it.
And then if you go ahead and press the on button here, then he will. Oh, I didn't get him quite on the track, but he will follow the track and basically do laps and guard the Autobot base.
Any voice come out of him? Or
no, he just makes the noise.
That would have been cool though if they would have a voice coming out of him.
I am Omega Supreme.
Yeah, right.
Hello. Yeah.
I hate the Constructicons because they betrayed me.
They betrayed me, freaking Constructicons. So that is the 2 modes of the original Omega Supreme. We'll turn this off so we can be heard again here a little bit here now.
That's cool.
So it's a cool toy. Again, it was not one you could just transform quickly on the fly. Obviously, it took a little bit of planning to make that happen.
And so you have 3 versions of it. This one, the original.
I have Omega Supreme, the Action Master that I alluded to earlier. And there's a couple others, but they're from a different toy. Like they're Transformers, but like a different universe, I guess, if you will, that type of thing. Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
It gets complicated sometimes.
Yeah, very much so.
So that's what makes sense. So yet another one that it took them a while to be able to re-release it as intended because of the licensing issues, like I said. But when Takara and Tomy merged, which Tomy was the original maker of this, that allowed us to be able to finally get this toy here. And we'll do this toy again in the future when we can see what it looks like.
How excited were you to get that?
Oh, well, I was excited, but it's the Christmas time. I know.
Yeah.
I asked for the big Transformer, and I think I'm going to get it. Ooh, and it happened. So that's Omega Supreme. He was the guardian robot the defender of the Autobots in case when it all went to hell, so to speak, was his role.
Do you remember playing with these when you were a kid? Like, did you put him out to guard everybody, and did you ever fire this rocket?
Yeah,
your imagination.
So again, this one little thing here in the cartoon was be big enough for like all the Autobots to pile into. And this would take off his face, land somewhere, and then he would just transform completely back into everything again. So they never explain how that happened.
No, it's all
much
good.
like Optimus Prime's trailer.
Yeah,
he would transform. The trailer would just like back away from the camera,
Yeah.
and then you would never see it again until he transformed it back, and all of a sudden, look, there it is again. So there's some things that we're just not meant to understand.
So he was the protector, but not like a leader.
No, he was not the leader. No.
Okay.
No. Now, in more recent fiction, like some of the more recent comic books that came out, he was considered to be like a very old Transformer, so they would maybe go to him for like wisdom and things like that, but not truly like a leader.
Yeah, and they would like to have to start him with a crank.
No, not that kind of old.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Omega Supreme. Go!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we did it. It was a long process, but you did it.
This.
Yeah.
This was most excellent, which
ties into our beer.
Because I'm a dork. I'm gonna So,
what beer are we gonna talk about today?
Well, we're gonna talk about beer from a place called Excel Bottling. Okay, yeah, I know. So let me go grab the beer.
All right.
I'm gonna. This is such a cool place and such an interesting story, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Because it's way more than beer. Right, so
while she's grabbing that, one more time, just to mention a couple things here. So, Omega Supreme and the Guardian robots. That's what this blue one was supposed to be. Was one of the more generic ones. So I guess you talk about him being a leader in the sense like on Ancient Cybertron, he was the leader of these guys.
Okay.
Almost like a police force, I guess. They guarded the cities and stuff like that. But he was the main one. And in the cartoon, these were more like drones. They didn't have like intelligence or whatever. So like he was the only one that had like sentience and stuff like that, and he kind of not controlled these guys, but in the sense where he made them do everything. But they were more like just
this is a separate thing.
This was the Guardian robot, of which Omega Supreme was the
leader of the Guardians,
the head of the Guardian robots.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, he was the only one with like true intelligence. The other ones were more just like regular robots and stuff.
You're
but anyway,
so stupid.
Excel.
All right. So that's actually a really cool fact. Okay. Yeah. So I've got a lot of stuff written down here. So I'm going to read a lot from my notes because it's so cool. But so I'm going to tell you a little about Excel. Excel really was first known as a soda company, and that's still its big bread and butter, okay? It is in Breeze, Illinois. This is where it's located, okay? It is an independent family bottler. And here's the story, okay? Here's what they say. Back in 1936, there's this guy. His name was Edward Lefty Meyer. He went by Lefty. I don't know why.
This is right here.
I don't know. But get this, okay? Apparently he received some reward money for catching a bank robber.
Okay.
And he used that money to purchase a bottling machine.
Okay.
So then him and his wife, Catherine, used that machine to set up a soda bottling plant in her grandmother's house.
Wow.
Okay? That had previously operated as a general store. Now, I do not know if the site they're in now is that original site, but I will say that they literally still bottle on site in Breeze, Illinois, in a very compact area. Okay,
it's very much like a warehouse type store. When we went, they had like the wheeled like tracks where they could like slide boxes and all that kind of stuff.
So let me tell you a little more about this. Okay, they chose the name. This is how they came up with the name. Apparently, at the time, a lot of soda companies were naming the sodas after themselves.
Okay.
And apparently, old Lefty said, this is about the soda, not about us. We want to be the best soda it can possibly be. We want it to excel.
It's about the craft, man.
So that is why they named it Excel.
Excel.
Okay?
They're going to excel. They're going to do better than everyone else.
Apparently, old Lefty, he passed away in 1996, but Catherine, his wife, she continued to live in the house where they bottled the soda.
Wow.
Until she was 97, and she still did the bookkeeping for the company up until then. Okay, so today that they've expanded, the house has expanded. They say between modern soda bottling and craft brewing. So we'll get to the beer in a second. But first, let me tell you about the soda, which they're really known for. Okay, So they produce a variety of flavored sodas. The one that we know very well is called Ski. That one is really
SKI.
SKI.
It's kind of a Mountain Dew-ish, but not, but it's different too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just one flavor, but they're really well known for it. They make all kinds of really fun flavors. They use pure cane sugar.
The real stuff.
They thanks, Rona. They still reuse bottles. It's delicious. We literally we got some soda that they made just for the eclipse that just happened.
Darkest Hour.
Yeah, it was a black cherry.
Yeah,
it was
really
so good. So we went down there for the beer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the beer and then a little bit about our experience there. So the reason they do craft beer is because Bill Meyer, who is the grandson of the founders, Lefty and Catherine, he's president of the company now. He's always been a fan of craft beers. Okay, so it says he invested in the latest brewing equipment, and they just decided for fun that in 2012 they would add beer brewing to the soda making. So all of it happens right down there where they sell everything as well. Okay, today they make West Coast style IPAs, traditional German style lagers, and they have their seasonal beers, their specialty beers, and then their year round. So one that they're well known for is called the Piasaw Pilsner. If you don't know anything about our region, but the Piasaw Pilsner is based on the legend of the Piasaw bird, which
which is a fake legend, by the way, but that's a whole other story.
But it's really good, and I really enjoyed their Stay Gold American IPA. And the thing about it is when you go, so we went down there to try this place out, and people were lined up outside to buy the soda. So people walk up. They will go to this place just to buy the soda.
Put it on the rack, slide it out the door, they pay for it, grab it,
lined up. They were lined up to buy the soda. We went to have the beer. To buy the beer, the taste of beer, you just walk into the back. They've got like a little tap area, no tables and chairs.
Right.
But you can try all their beers for free.
Pallets of soda and beer.
Yeah. You can they just let you try the beers. Then they have beers for sale in bottles. In the back.
Didn't they ask for a donation at least, especially if you weren't going to buy anything?
They may have, but I don't. But my point is, you don't have to pay anything to try the beer.
You got to be old enough, obviously.
Right, and I would recommend if you do that, you would buy some beers. But we did, we brought home a couple of beers. They had some beers on sale, like we got their Oktoberfest for $4 for a 6-pack. Mm-hmm. But we brought one of the beers we're going to try. They also had some funky flavors, and I have not had this yet. But anyway, it was just such a fun experience. So we went back there. They poured the beers for us.
You have like a little 1 ounce poured all their beers just to try them.
We got to see everything. That we were in the middle of the warehouse.
The young kids they got running are super friendly.
We had such a great time there.
Really
so
it wasn't there wasn't any food. There wasn't a place to sit down.
It is literally their
just
warehouse.
A warehouse. Yeah. Try some beers, buy some beers.
Yeah,
and soda.
It is just the bare essence of a tap house. But if you just want to go for a fun experience, you bring your kids because you bring some soda home. So we grabbed our soda. We grabbed some beer to take home. We had a good time. We got some stickers for the eclipse. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's in Breeze, Illinois. And the one thing I will say is that the sodas are kind of seen as kind of a upper level soda, like Old Bakery beer, Four Hands. Yeah. That's the soda that they sell. A lot of the places
around the St. Louis area, if you go somewhere and they're especially if they're because they're craft brewers, they don't want to necessarily.
They don't
sell
have your traditional
Coke and Pepsi. They want to support the local places, so they sell
that's
this kind
what they
of stuff.
sell.
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So that's where you can get these sodas as well. They bottle them, or they also have it in fountain versions at some local restaurants. They don't have them in cans. But anyway,
like our Pop was their version of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They have all kinds of fun stuff. So they're always having fun with beer, having fun with soda, pure cane sugar, good ingredients. So let's go ahead now. Now that you've heard about this place, and it was so
Excel
much
Brewing.
fun. Yeah. The beer we're going to try today is called Evil House of Pancakes.
An evil House of Pancakes?
Yeah, they spent 10 years at Evil Culinary School for this.
Evil Culinary School?
So here's how it's described. A golden breakfast stout with cacao nibs, coffee, and vanilla beans. And there's a little picture of pancakes.
And it's aged where? Where is it aged?
In maple syrup barrels.
So they put this in old maple syrup
Here we go. This may be
so it's
way
a breakfast
too sweet
stout,
for me.
but as you're going to see, I've already had this one. It's not
light.
Dark. It's a lighter color.
I did not expect it to be this color. I expected it to be like a really dark, almost black.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a more of an amber color breakfast stout.
Yeah. That is.
Right there.
Yeah.
And this is very heavy.
Ooh.
It's a very heavy beer.
But the smell is very syrupy.
It's really good though.
Whoa.
Very sweet.
Holy crap.
You can almost put this on pancakes and it'd probably be pretty good.
It is like drinking maple syrup.
But yeah, I don't get the maple syrup flavor so much.
I do. It
you?
tastes like Waffalo cereal.
Noelle's got a way better palate than me. She's tasting things, going, I get the whiffs of cherry and whatever. I'm like, it tastes like beer to me.
I'm probably just saying, maybe I'm just saying that stuff to make you feel
To me,
better.
this like most of these
taste
like
Buffalo's.
imperial type stouts, this tastes a lot of the sweetness of like the molasses
Ooh.
and all that stuff. I don't taste the chocolate.
That is a sipper.
I don't taste the coffee.
I do not taste the chocolate either.
But
What I taste
it's
is
sweet.
I taste the
It's
maple
heavy.
syrup.
I'm not sure how much percent alcohol this is. I can't. It's pretty. It's fairly high.
Let me see if I
Yeah.
can figure this one out.
I think it
for
might
ya.
be there in that part.
Let's
I
see.
need reading glasses because I'm old.
13.4%.
13% alcohol, and it's a skinny can. If we can hold a regular beer can up to it,
that's
regular
what I
beer
like.
can be like
Hold
right
that
here.
can up because that is a cool can.
The regular beer can is probably this big compared to this can.
I really
and a little
appreciate
wider.
when the artwork, the time that is taken for artwork on cans, which is one of the things you probably could tell is I collect beer bottles and cans. I don't even have enough room. Like this whole basement is mostly Transformers.
You've seen that from the intro.
And I got a little bit of room for beer and a little bit upstairs, but I'm out of room. But I keep collecting because I just love the artwork. So that is an
and this one has
awesome
like kind of, I'll put it on the screen better, but it has kind of like a creepy looking kind of butler guy.
Yeah, it looks like Bela Lugosi.
He's kind of faded out a little bit, almost
Yeah.
like maybe he's supposed to be a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it's evil House of
He's
Pancakes
holding
otherwise.
a plate of pancakes.
Yeah. But it's pretty good. I like it.
I bet they put it out
This is
around
definitely
October.
This is definitely a sipper.
Yeah, it is. But I'm going to tell you something in terms of like. So yeah, here's just my final take on it. I am not a huge fan of really sweet beers because for some reason the sweet flavors are overwhelming to me. A lot of times when I have a sweet, syrupy beer, that flavor lingers and I don't enjoy it. This one kind of lets go.
Yeah.
I could sip this, and I bet if I was drinking it with something, like what if we were actually having it at breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, what if we had it with
If you're
pancakes?
an alcoholic and having beer at breakfast, then there you go.
What about mimosas, Dave?
Yeah, well, that's different. That's high class.
The beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad. So
But
I went
there
over
are some
to
things
dessert.
we've had like, and I'm not ripping on this, but in general, I'm not a big
That's
fan
really
of
good.
like artificial maple flavor.
No,
And
that's
so like
not
you might get
artificial.
something like Crown Royal maple.
Yeah.
And to me that just tastes like.
No,
like,
this
yeah.
tastes like the flavor was pulled into
Yeah.
it. This is really good. And again, yeah, definitely this is a sipper. This would be great for being outside. This would be wonderful on like a Saturday morning,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 10 o'clock, like a brunchy thing sitting out in our deck. We
Yeah.
make some pancakes, maybe have some eggs with it, a little protein.
A little coffee and this.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, I wonder what this would be like in coffee.
Something
Never
like
put
something
beer and
salty
coffee
like
before,
hash
but-
browns to
Yeah,
counteract the sweetness. This would
yeah.
be pretty good too.
So this was really good. I enjoyed it. Good job.
Yeah.
All
And good
right.
job on Omega Supreme
Thank
and
you.
the Omega Sentinel
Yeah.
or the
Thanks
Guardian
for
Robot.
tutoring me.
You're welcome.
This was a
This is a
different.
complicated
Yeah.
one, but once again, another example of just how Transformers have evolved over time. So this one was
Yeah.
yet another toy. I think this was actually you couldn't get this at Radio Shack like you could Shockwave, but I think other versions of
no
this
Shockwave.
were sold throughout
Yeah.
the Europe and America
Yeah.
under different names
Yeah.
because the license for this toy was sold under many different
Yeah.
banners. But it's a cool toy, and I can't wait to show you the big Omega Supreme someday. But
Well, and don't you just one more thing? Don't you have this one displayed on your table where you have your racetrack?
I've got my big new Omega Supreme
Oh.
displayed, kind of like he's fighting somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, but not the original
Okay.
Omega Supreme.
Because someday you're gonna have to show people on the show your table where you.
Well,
have,
they
like,
see
the
it in the
racetrack.
intro, but I know the intro
but
goes
we should-
fast.
We
but
should
you can
do something over your table sometime.
You're allowed to hit pause when you're
He
watching
built a
the
table for
Yeah.
his train track.
I've got
and
a
racetrack.
Transformers slot car
So
set, and I've
someday
got a
we'll show
Transformers
that.
HO train track.
Yeah.
That's all in the intro too. But well, we need to wrap this up.
Yes, let's do that.
So thank you for watching again. Make sure you hit all the buttons. Please like, share, and subscribe. We get more subscribers. It'd be great if we could get 150.
Ooh, let's
Ooh,
go for
yeah.
150. And as always, if there's a beer or a spirit that you'd like us to try, please comment on it below. Because we're
Same
always
with
looking
the
for new
Transformer.
ideas.
There's a Transformer you'd like us to do that we haven't done yet. This is
Yeah.
only our 8th episode. There's still thousands that we haven't done.
Oh my gosh, we could do
Let us
so many
know.
episodes.
But as we always say,
Yeah.
and again, I always point this out. There's a couple other places you go for information. There's tfwiki.net, tfwiki.net. The Transformers Wiki gives information on all this stuff. And Chris McFeely has a Transformers channel on YouTube called The Basics On. There's The Basics On Omega Supreme. You can watch that one. Lots of cool information. But always remember, as we say, play responsibly, as we did here. Drink responsibly. And thanks for watching BeerFormers.
And it meets their eye.
Cheers.